One of my favourite things about living in London is all of the gorgeous parks, and it seems like a lot of authors agree with me because these parks have been featured in so many books. So in today's episode of Book Break, we're going to take a tour of all of the gorgeous parks in London that have been immortalised in books. And we're starting here in Hampstead Heath, which is the setting for the rather spooky opening to The Woman in White by Wilkie Collins, where our main character Walter meets a mysterious woman on the heath, dressed entirely in white. And continuing that spooky theme, Hampstead Heath is also haunted in Bram Stoker's classic novel Dracula by the vampire Lucy Westenra, who feasts on the blood of children. But right here in the sun, Hampstead Heath doesn't seem too spooky at all. And now onto Regents Park, which is featured in just too many books to name, but one key book it's featured in is Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf. The park is where Septimus sits with his wife, watching an aeroplane fly overhead while we gain some insight into his inner mental turmoil. And it's also where Peter Walsh takes a walk and reflects on his relationship with Mrs. Dalloway. Another very popular book where you'll find Regents Park mentioned is 101 Dalmatians, because this is where the Dearly family live. And of course, I can't move on from Regents Park without mentioning that zoo scene in Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. In the book, the zoo scene where Harry accidentally befriends a snake actually just takes part in an unnamed zoo in Surrey, but in the film, it takes place right here in Regents Park's very own London Zoo. In Kensington Gardens, a statue forever commemorates its most famous fictional resident, Peter Pan. The statue is supposed to mark the spot where Peter first escaped from his pram, and it was installed during the night in 1912 so that it would look to the children that it had appeared by magic. The Vauxhall Pleasure Gardens form the backdrop for a pivotal early scene in the novel Vanity Fair by William Makepeace Thackeray, in which the main character Becky Sharp is almost proposed to by her friend's drunk older brother Joseph. The next morning, Joseph utters the immortal line, "There is no hangover in the world like that caused by Vauxhall Punch." Next to Clapham Common, which will be famous to all readers of Graham Greene's The End of the Affair. The main character Maurice lives on the wrong side of the common, which means the south side, sorry to all of you Clapham South dwellers, while his lover and her husband live on the north side. Maurice drinks in the Pontefract Arms, now the Windmill pub, and many of the novel's key moments take place on the common itself. And finally, I'm ending the day here in Wimbledon Common, home to your favourite environmentally friendly fictional characters. Of course, I'm talking about the Wombles of Wimbledon Common. The books, by Elizabeth Beresford, are all about these pointy-nosed creatures who live in burrows and help the environment by recycling. And today, you'll still hear people talking about wombling, meaning recycling or looking after the environment. And it's all thanks to our furry friends here on Wimbledon Common. So those are just some of the popular books that show off London's beautiful parks. And do give this video a thumbs up if you've enjoyed touring the greener parts of our capital. And do leave a comment if you have any other favourite books set at London landmarks. And of course, make sure that you hit that subscribe button because here on Book Break we have new videos every Thursday. See you next time!